Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you liked my last video. I've gotten a lot of comments and questions and shout outs. Thank you to my fans. Please, as the habit is, like, subscribe, share with your friends and enemies, your exes, etc. So today we'll be continuing from our previous conversation about salary. Because money is important. Owo ni ko. How did that guy sing? Sorry. I know the song will pop up. Anyway, so last time we talked about the very important things to consider when negotiating salary. And just before I get into today, I wanted to add a jara, to a point I made in my last video. If you have not seen it, please go and see it. So one of the things that I talked about was looking at the industry, right? And just benchmarking companies. I forgot to mention or that you should factor in also the country that you're applying to. So I know it's 2023 and there's remote work, but sometimes when benchmarking, you might make we call it statistical error. This is what I mean. So I don't know, Paystack would think I want to work with them like this. I don't want to work with you, Paystack, I'm sorry. But so I'm going to use Paystack. So I like people at Paystack. I really like Paystack, by the way, but I don't plan to work with them before my employer come and sue me after watching this video. So the only company I know that I want to work with that my employer knows is Netflix. So, you can call me if you have someone in Netflix. Back to my point. So say you're applying to Paystack, right? Remember I said how you can compare, Paystack with Flutterwave. I benchmark Paystack to Flutterwave because both of them are in Nigeria. Both of them are fintechs, they are in the payment industry. A kind of benchmarking you don't want to do is to benchmark, maybe Paystack to World Simple. World Simple is like a fintech, in the US or UK, I don't know. Or benchmark Paystack to Bank of America, or benchmark Flutterwave to, say, Wise, for instance. Though they are in the same industry, they are not in the same geographical region, and then that would be very unfair, benchmarking to use. So ensure that you are benchmarking while in the same industry, also in the same region, if not in the same country. I failed to put that disclaimer out there. That being said, what are we going to talk about today? This is a big mistake that I've seen people make in my short HR career. In fact, till like 3 months ago, I still closed out a talent. So the way you people close out deal, we also close out talents. So I still closed out a talent, and when we were talking about salary, I said, your salary is 1M. That's an imaginary figure, by the way. But so I said, your salary is. So most times I just say your take home is 1M because I know you Nigerians. No, I'm not shading you, but I know that you don't know the difference between gross and net salary. So today we are talking about components of salary. Look at your neighbor, say neighbor. These are the components of salary. So it's going to be in like a listicle form. Remember, we are still sticking to 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm just going to list, explain. And this video is based on Nigeria, but I'm very sure that it's a template that can be replicated, across board. Right. So when you're accepting your offer, remember the last video we talked about how to negotiate the salary, and then I talked about how salary is also beyond your financial take home. It contains a lot of other things. So it's those other things that I want to talk about today. Are we ready? Fasten your seatbelts, drink water, and let's go. So the first thing is HMO. I'm almost 30, so I'm beginning to take my health serious. And now, when I accept offers or when I review offers for my clients, yes, I do that officially. Please patronize me. I help my friends review their offers and help them negotiate offers. I've not opened business yet because I still try to keep it private, but I actually do that. And my friends have testimony. I've helped someone get a 20% increase for my base salary before. Shout out. So always watch out. Always ask. Please, what's your provision for HMO? What does my HMO cover? Do not be shy to ask again, guys. I've had talents negotiate their HMO with me. I'm not even joking. They're like, I want to be on the highest level of HMO. My role is the lead role, so I want to be on the HMO plan that lead roles are. And I've had talent tell me that before, right? So ask questions. What HMO do you use? What does my HMO cover? Sometimes, honestly, the HR does not even know what the HMO cover, but at least the HR at that point, or the hiring manager, as the case may be, has it at the back of their minds that they are putting you on a premium health plan. If you're in the UK and you're watching this, this is even very big for you because I know that health is a big deal in the UK and the US. The NHS there has a lot of drama and a lot of benefits. You do not want to one of my friends recently, I hope that she sees this, tweeted about how she had a lot of benefits and she did not even know that those benefits existed until another friend visited her and just went through her offer, and then they went through her HMO provision, and she realized that she had a lot of health benefits that she has been spending pounds on. So one of the ways you can actually save money in the 21st century is to have an health insurance, that covers a lot of things for you, and HMO is what does that in Nigeria. So ask. The second thing is pensions. I know that they say that pensions is small. It's very hard to access. Is this? But ask, do you pay pensions, man? Do you pay pensions, sir? Or is it that you just deduct? I think that the companies, legally, companies should pay pensions. But I think the ones that are more annoying is companies actually deduct your pension and don't pay them. I think that that's extremely criminal. So ask. In fact, every company I've worked with, I'm proud to say it's one of the first things we ask during onboarding is that you provide us a pension number. And if you do not have, we ask you to open one. I'm not going to do free adverts for anybody because they not pay. Maybe people should start paying for my video, So, but it's very important that you ask, what's the pension plan? Do you pay pension? Which PFA do you use? The third one, I'm going to take the third and the fourth together because I had a very funny conversation with my friend. So ask for 13th salary and leave allowance. So I know that not a lot of companies pay both of them. I know some companies pay leave allowance. I know some companies pay 13th salary. I know some companies pay both, right? And at this point, I'm also just, don't let me merge it. So ask explicitly, hey, do you pay leave allowance? How does leave allowance work? Do you just, pay me for when I go on leave, or you pay separately? Do you pay 13th salary? What percentage of my salary is 13th salary? When do you pay it? When does your financial year end? You know how they used to, maybe I should do a video on that. When they say any question and you say no question. Like, for me, that's like the first red flag. If I'm interviewing anybody and I ask them what question and you say no question, it's a red flag for me. And it doesn't even mean that I will not hire the talent. It just means that it's a red flag for me. I feel like you should have enough questions. One of the questions you should actually ask is leave allowance and 13th salary. Next is performance bonuses, right? So I'm telling you that your base salary is 1.5 M. So it's a role like a sales, especially for roles that are sales, that are marketing, roles that has to do with direct revenue, bringing in direct revenue. You want to ask, sorry, are there bonuses? Are there performance bonuses? Is there a percentage bonus? Be very explicit. Again, you're not asking because you want to get these things, but you'll be wrong that these things exist and you don't get them. That's what you don't want to happen, right? So ask. If they say no performance, good for you, but at least you have asked, right? I feel like we should do a quick recap. First, HMO. Second, pensions. Third, leave allowance and 13th salary. Fourth, bonuses. So let's take a deep breath here. Think about your favorite song, and sing it. I'm trying to think about mine. Okay, let's continue. The next is stock options. This is for people that are applying to startups especially because, now tech the way now. Everybody wants to be a tech bro and sis. So you're joining a company, a startup that is less than 3 years, less than 5 years. You're literally taking a bet on your life to join the company. So you should ask them, do you have stock options? At what point do I have access to stock options? For some people, they wait till after 1 year of good performance. For some people, only when you become a team lead. For some people, it's actually part of the benefits. I have been pushed before where I was offered a certain $1,000 alongside stock options, right? So another thing, guys, because my ass have seen shaking in recent times. If they say yes, they have stock options, let them. Maybe you might not ask that at the interview level, but when they send you an offer and they give you stock options, you want to know how to execute your options, because trust me, guys, that's another different ballgame. I'm not going to go into that. So yeah, the next thing is allowances. I'm just going to put all the allowances together. So do they have travel allowances? Do they have? So you're in a sales role now. You have to close roles across regions. Do they let you travel? Do they have phone call allowances? You are for example, you are a receptionist, you are a customer experience person, you are you're in a role where you have to make a lot of calls. Are you going to be using your money to call, or are they going to give you call allowance? Again, guys, the goal of this video is not to make you entitled, right? The goal of this video is to let you know that these things exist. And if they don't exist with any organization, it's not bad. right? There are companies that do not have it, and it doesn't make them a bad company. I'm just saying that there are companies that have it, and because you have not experienced it, does not mean you should not ask for it. Oh deep, oh deep, oh deep. That's the punchline. Let me say that again. That you have not experienced a benefit do not mean that you should not ask for a benefit. I've noticed that one of the reasons why people also underprice themselves, just a follow-up from my previous video, is that sometimes their previous role, they have seen shege, they pay them peanuts, and so they don't know how to ask in their next role. So it's okay if your previous role paid you peanuts. You are now in another, the universe has conspired and giving you another opportunity to renegotiate your value, to place a price on the services and the value that you bring to the table. You don't want to jeopardize that because of an already experience that you had before. So I'll say it again, that you have not experienced a benefit before does not mean that you should not ask for it if you are given the chance to. So ask for travel allowances, ask for call allowances, ask for transport, right? If your role has to do with visiting clients and maybe the company does not have maybe a company car or something, ask, oh, so how does travel allowance work? How does transport allowance work? Do I, some, for example, okay, free PR again. I know that companies like Shortlast, like Bolt, have like Bolt for businesses, Shortlast for businesses. So maybe they use that platform, or do they give you a reimbursement at the end of the month? It is very important that believe it or not, there are companies that actually have wardrobe allowances too, right? So they want you to dress well because you are a C-level executive or you are a manager, and they don't want you to go out and be wearing shorts like I will do, right? You have to meet clients and you have to dress like the quality of clients that you have to meet. So you that you have been wearing, bole kaja 5,000 naira or 2-piece of 25,000 naira, and your role involves meeting senators, involves meeting CEOs, meeting head of sales of top FMCG. You cannot be wearing 2-piece of, you understand? So some companies actually give you wardrobe allowances. It is very important that you ask this, right? Remember, we talked about HMO, we talked about pensions, we talked about leave allowances or 13th salary, we talked about stock options explicitly, and then now we are talking about all the possible allowances. There are some that I didn't list here. I know some companies that give data allowance, so your role is really remote or your role is hybrid, and so they give you a certain amount of data or certain amount to buy data. Just take a deep breath, right, and think, what are the allowances I would need to perform excellently well in this role, and then just begin to ask for those allowances. You get? Conclusively, and very importantly, always ask, what is the provision for learning and development? That when you are getting into a role, they offer to sponsor your academic, or your professional certification. So I know the big, for example, sponsors your ICANN or ACCA. I can't remember. I know some companies that they let you take a certification that aligns with your role or your functionality in that role on that business, and they refund the money. So if you do not see any provision like that, during your onboarding is too far. Ask them, what is your plan for learning and development? Do you reimburse people when they go on a training or when they take a certification? Can I take a certification and you pay me back? Some companies say, oh, you have to work for 1 year or you have to work for 6 months. But it is very important that you are asking at what point, do they invest in you, and what is the learning and development like? Remember again that all these things, one, they are not to let you sound entitled. They are to let you know that these things exist, and that a company does not have them does not make them a bad company. I feel like it's very important that I put that there. Conclusively, guys, there is difference between gross salary and net salary. Your gross salary is the total component of your salary. That is your net salary. We call it deductibles. Your net salary plus your deductibles, and your net salary is what you take home. Please do not mix it up. So when someone gives you an offer, when they say this role is 200k to 300k naira, please ask them, is it gross or net? When they say this role is 2 million to 3 million, please ask, is it gross or net? When you're done with an interview and they give you an offer and they say, oh, your base, they use very interesting words, your base salary, ask them, please, is this my gross or my net salary? If it is my gross, I am very interested in my net salary. I am also interested in what this gross salary entails. Remember, the goal is that you do not undervalue yourself or undersell yourself. Say at this point, call your name. Me, yeah, call your name. Emmanuel Akpomile Faith. I shall not undersell myself, neither shall I undervalue myself. Always remember, when you get to the interview stage and you're receiving an offer, it is because the company has found you worthy to work with them. Do not underprice yourself or undersell yourself. Till my next video, or to the next time I answer any question that you ask for me, it's me, your boy Emmanuel Faith, your HR buddy, your favorite HR buddy, your global HR. See ya. Peace.